Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of KPW War Zone. It is I, TB Styles, calling the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And speaking of solo, we'll be hosting a Bunker Hill exhibition to kick off tonight's special event of Warzone, as Solo, one half of the tag team champions, of course, will be going one-on-one against Popcorn Papi to kick off tonight's festivities. But that's not all, folks. Coming up much later in the evening, two of KPW's biggest personalities butt heads in the center of the ring. We're of course talking about the Misfit, the KPW Hardcore Champion, Bawb, going one-on-one against the Viceroy Jedi. But also still to come, tag team action. Mojo Perry, Willie Nixon, the Raging Bulls, they are very much looking forward to getting another crack at the gold. Can they keep the momentum rolling in their favor, or will they be stopped in their tracks by the War Machine, by the Mastermind, Slarty, Shuko, the First Nation take on the Raging Bulls later on tonight? And last but not least, our main event of the evening, a 10-minute beat the clock challenge. We heard it here last Monday night, folks. If this man can defeat the world heavyweight champion here tonight in singles action, he will be replacing the Monarch, Oliver English, at Madhouse for an opportunity to earn the KPW World Heavyweight Championship. Hosway gets 10 minutes in the squared circle against the Siberian Silver Bear, Pando. Without any further ado, let's make our way down to ringside. Let's get a little bit of exhibition going on. Marching out first, Solo, not flanked by his tag team partner, the other half of the tag team champions, in K-Dog. Looking forward to the exhibition here tonight. Looking forward to keep his reps high. And he's gonna have one hell of a task on his hands here. He's gonna put up one hell of a fight against Popcorn Papi. The now former KPW Twitch champion, a former three-time Twitch champion at that, being presented with a minor setback, being reminded of what his intentions have been since the end of the spring. Popcorn Papi, Popo, K-Dog, Solo, the four-man entity that comprises Bunker Hill. They're more than ready to tackle Parliament and keep them down once and for all here. Solo and Popcorn Papi immediately taking things to the outside.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And that's never been an issue for any of the members of Bunker Hill, especially not the likes of Popcorn Papi. This man was our first ever KPW Hardcore Champion. He has no qualms trying to get his hands dirty in the ring here. Sleeper hold applied to Solo, but Solo was able to reach for the ropes quickly enough. Both these men equal in mass, but Solo has a very distinct agility advantage going into tonight's bout. Popcorn Papi being able to deliver in high pressure situations. Might still be the odds-on favorite heading into tonight. Solo winning that brief striking exchange. Irish whip into the ropes. Drop toe hold by Solo. Solo, Popcorn Papi sizing each other up. Enziguri counters from Solo. And look at the camaraderie on display here between these two men. Almost chivalrous. Popcorn Papi, Solo. Almost taking things a bit light in the squared circle. You must not be worried about any threats looming in a locker room area, especially from the likes of Parliament, Oliver English, Tory, Chaos Control, Kruger Papyrus. But certainly not any sort of threat from Hosway, the man that will be in our main event of the evening in a 10-minute beat the clock challenge against our world heavyweight champion Pando. Set out pile driver by Popcorn Papi. Exchange of strikes. Solo winning another exchange. Spinning heel kick caught by Popcorn Papi. He pushes Solo down to the mat. Quick jab knocks back Solo. Solo fighting his way out of the corner, and now it is Popcorn Papi backing in towards the turnbuckle. The Scrapyard Saint hitting the ropes. Drop kick from Popcorn Papi, catching him flush in the head. Arm elbow tie up, double chop from Solo. Irish whip into the ropes. Popcorn Papi hangs onto the ropes. Overhead strike from Popcorn Papi. A second one takes Solo through the ropes. Solo re-entering the ring. Arm elbow exchange. Solo with the sit-out X-Plex. Suplex position into a face buster. Second elbow. Springboard back elbow. Solo and Popcorn Papi at a total stalemate here, folks. Spinning leg lock from Solo to Popcorn Papi. I'm sure Popo, K-Dog, the two other members of Bunker Hill, two members that have certainly waged war against one another, especially in recent memory. It was just 8 months ago where we saw K-Dog and Popo roiled in the world title scene leading into February's monthly special event, where they were just in a complete arms race to try and one-up the their respective opponent. And at the end of the night, neither one of them walked away with the world title. The man that did, of course, the Viceroy Jedi. We'll be seeing him up next in action here on Warzone tonight against the 300-pound misfit Bawb. Super hold cinched in deep by Popcorn Papi. He's blocking the ropes here. But Solo does not have any quit in his heart. He's not going to make this easy. Popcorn Papi, one of the other founding fathers of Bunker Hill. A quick jab takes Solo off his feet. Irish whip reversed by Solo. A side kick into the sternum of Popcorn Papi. Solo working down the legs of Popcorn Papi. And Popcorn Papi, he is a man that moves with a lot of rhythm. He's a man that has groove in his heart and grit in his soul. It's that grit, it's that determination that's got him so successful here in KPW. 3 championship reigns as the Twitch champion, as well as being the inaugural hardcore champion. Solo, of course, avoiding championship gold here in KPW up until very recently, back at Sabotage, when him and K-Dog won the tag team championships in that open. Solo wasn't even active in the match. It was all K-Dog. Now Solo's looking to prove his worth here to Popcorn Papi. Moonsault from the top. Picks Popcorn Papi right back up here. Hurricanrana, shoulders to the mat.
2.
And Popcorn Papi squeaks out the shoulder. Snap suplex from Solo. And at the snap of a finger, Solo has turned this bout around here. Spinning wheel kick from the top. Quick kick to the gut of Solo. Knocks him back. And look at the intensity in this ring here tonight. Especially if this is the MO, if this is what we would come to expect between members of Bunker Hill. Could you imagine picking a fight with any of these 4 guys? Popcorn Papi, Solo, K-Dog, Popo. They're 4 KPW's leanest and meanest, toughest sons of bitches that we have to offer here. And of course the Raging Bulls, Mojo Perry, Willie Nixon, they are choosing to pick a fight once again against Bunker Hill. They're looking to get that perfect opportunity. Solo trying to fall back on that Hurricanrana. Will this be successful? And it is! Solo's agility, his quick reflexes, athleticism on display here tonight. It was more than enough to ensure him the victory here tonight. Both these men having a lot of camaraderie with each other, a lot of respect for each other. They still fought with their heart and their soul. They were willing to give it all for these folks here in the Kumite Forum. And while Popcorn Papi has yet another drawback on his hands, another L next to his name, slowly falling down the ranks. Solo is able to march out of here tonight with a W next to his name. He's able to carry the same weight that his tag team partner in K-Dog can carry. Congratulations to the Scrapyard Saint on an explosive victory here tonight. And speaking of explosions, two of KPW's biggest personalities are going to clash in the center of the ring coming up very shortly as the hardcore champion, the Misfit, the 300-pound Bawb, goes one-on-one against the Viceroy Jedi. But before we get down to ringside, I understand that we have some cameras rolling in the back as our resident interviewer Roger is on standby with a man that has been in the eye of the storm as of late, a man that is being pushed into really unfortunate situations, to say the very least. We're of course talking about the star attraction, France's greatest export, and the man that teamed with Jedi at Euphoria in a 60-minute Iron Man match. We're of course talking about Pierre Cinema.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing next to a man that appears to be in the eye of a serious storm. My guest tonight is of course the star attraction, Pierre Cinema. Steven Gielberg has spent the past several weeks really reestablishing himself as a threat here in KPW. He's busted up the hardcore champion. He dumped Venom Artemis on his neck, but he's proposed that he's capable of hurting you on a level that goes much beyond the confines of the ring. He's threatened to air out some real dirty laundry regarding you. But my question to you, Pierre, is simple. What concerns do you have at this moment in time?
Personally, I'm not too concerned about what Steven Gielberg might say. I've learned in the time I've spent here in KPW that the best way to be a threat is direct and to the point. The fact that he's trying to dangle whatever shit he's thinking of over my head doesn't bother me whatsoever. Truth be told, I know that when I marched here to KPW I wasn't the man I wanted to be. With the reach I had, I wasn't the role model I should have always been. I've taken on my demons headstrong, and Steven isn't going to be any different. I'm twice the man I was when I arrived here, and Steven Gielberg still thinks I'm the same man I was when we were both working in sound stages. If he thinks I'm the same man, he can meet me eye to eye in the ring.
Strong statements from Pierre Cinema. As we heard last week from the director, Steven Gielberg, a man trying to blackmail Pierre Cinema and so he can weasel his way to the top here in KPW, be afforded the same opportunities that a man like Pierre and of course a man like the Viceroy have worked towards. Pierre Cinema seemingly brushing off the threat of Steven Gielberg. But a man that understands that threat firsthand, a man that fought tooth and nail to retain that hardcore championship at Euphoria, is now marching down to the ring. You're of course talking about the 300-pound misfit, the KPW hardcore champion, Bawb.
Fight!
One has to be wondering if the Viceroy is still feeling the effects of that 60-minute Ironman match at Euphoria. We've never seen any man fight with as much intensity as we saw from all four men in that match. We saw Pierre Cinema still take the fight to a man like Sergeant Foxtrot last week, just fighting through the pain, and I think Jedi might be in that same situation here tonight. We have yet to see any sightings of either member of the band bus, Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino, ever since they took that unfortunate loss at Euphoria. They had quite the lead going into that 60-minute Ironman match. They were holding strong in the first half, especially. 2 leapfrogs from the Viceroy, by the way. Hook kick, catching Bawb on the jaw there. A low blow from Bawb. One of the dirtiest players in the game, the Misfit. A man that lives in nothing but misery and despair, and wishes nothing but misery and despair to others, and he's here to inflict that onto the Viceroy. And to say the very least, Jedi, he might be riding quite the euphoric high after the Ironman match. It was safe to count him out for the longest time. For the opening half hour or so, the band bus ran a clean sweep on both men, especially on Jedi, as he was the receiving victim of 3 consecutive pins. It was a 3-0 sweep until Pierre Cinema made the difference to even the score and even one up the band bus. But it was Jedi's rear naked choke on Ricky Rhombus that sealed the deal and secured them the victory. Both of those men now looking to start new chapters in their careers here in KPW moving forward. Hip attack from the hardcore champion. Shoulder breaker in towards the corner. Bawb launching over the top rope like a cruise missile. Rope thrust from the Viceroy. Spinning back fist from Jedi. Running knee to the head of Bawb. Looking for another hook kick, successful once again. Another strike lays out Bawb. Low blow to the Viceroy. Snap suplex. Take him down here. Another hip attack from Bawb. And Bawb may become one of the most formidable hardcore champions we've ever seen here, as he just clubs Jedi over the shoulders and down to the floor. Bawb looking to keep the aggression high as he soars down to Jedi.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Jedi trying to slow the pace down on Bawb, trying to exhaust his energy, his adrenaline coursing through the veins. Another running knee from Jedi, lateral press, not even a 1 count that time. Bawb taking things up to the top rope here. What the hell is he thinking? Samoan drop Picking him back up. Jedi countering the running offense with a back fist. Another Samoan drop from Bawb. Bawb letting the fists rain down on the Viceroy. A haymaker to the head. A body blow to the sternum of the Viceroy. And Jedi's ready to bring the fight right back to Bawb. Step up Enziguri, but Bawb ducks the kick. Hooking the leg, looking to steal it. And Jedi keeps fighting for another day. This is not a hill that he's gonna let Bawb have here tonight. Jedi trying to ram Bob's head into the ring post. And now it is the Viceroy sliding outside of the ring here. Springboard missile drop kick. Look at Jedi in the corner, just looking to get a good breather, soaking in the adoration of the Kumite faithful, packing the forum here tonight. Capture suplex, and he got some good distance on that one. Small package, looking to steal it, but Bawb was just too large to keep down, to try and fold up like that. Another clubbing blow from Bawb. Jedi keeping the pressure up. He's keeping the intensity. He's keeping the speed high. This is exactly the motive, the motivations, the intensity that got Jedi through 218 days of World Championship glory, having that target really painted on his head, right between the eyes here. Sleeper hold on Bawb, trying to put the big man to sleep. Jedi launching Bawb into the corner, recoiling back. Bawb stumbling right into a sledgehammer. Drilling him center of the mat. That's gotta be it.
2, 3, pinfall.
And the Viceroy has vanquished the Misfit tonight. What a hard-fought battle between these two individuals here tonight. Bawb utilizing his strength, his size advantage, clubbing down Jedi, trying to keep him towards the mat, keeping him off of that vertical base for as long as he can and for as hard as he can strike. But Jedi was more than willing to put the fight right back to him. Whatever lashes Bawb was willing to give out, Jedi was able to give just 2 or 3 extra. And when it came down to the wire, the Viceroy was able to cinch in Bawb for that sledgehammer and call it a night for the hardcore champion. Congratulations to Jedi on a big victory here tonight. And speaking of big, speaking of implications, the tag team championship scene has been heating up considerably as of late. As the Raging Bulls, not wasting any time, looking to keep that high up and moving, looking to ride the wave of momentum after Euphoria as they take on Slarty and Shuko of the First Nation. These two men, they've been around from the very beginning, one of KPW's brightest tag teams, but they have yet to win the big one. Almost considered passed over by their contemporaries. The First Nation being one of the leaders in that clubhouse, of course. First Nation, the previous KPW Tag Team Champions, just working to get another crack at the gold. We're gonna get another shot against the team that dethroned them back at Sabotage, K-Dog, Solo of Bunker Hill. Tag team action underway. Mojo Perry in the colorful blue and orange apparel. Slarty representing the First Nation in a more monochrome, more uniform black and silver gear. Slarty immediately tossing Mojo to the outside. Shuko picking up where Slarty left off.
5, 6, 7,
Rush whip reversal by Slarty.
8,
Big boot to Willie Nixon.
9,
This action, it's already descending into chaos
12, 13, 14,
as both teams spilling to the outside. Count of 16.
17, 18,
Slarty rushing back into the ring. They're gonna take the count out victory. What the hell is this all about? Slarty, Shuko, not wasting any time, providing themselves one hell of a roadblock for the Raging Bulls, cutting out the momentum from underneath them. And just when we thought the intensity was gonna pick up, just when we thought this match was truly gonna get started, both teams being separated outside the ring by security, ringside officials. The Raging Bulls taking a considerable loss there. Quite the humiliation there, courtesy of the First Nation, as they marched through here tonight with a very unceremonious, a very disrespectful, a very dishonorable count-out victory. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our main event of the evening, a 10-minute beat the clock challenge, championship implications on the line here. Hosway, a man that was blindsided, bludgeoned, beaten to a bloody pulp at Euphoria. The man damn near had his neck broken. Serving almost as a sacrificial lamb to Parliament. Now has 10 minutes to defeat the World Heavyweight Champion Pando in our main event of the evening. Certainly a decision that will create a lot of turmoil within Parliament, specifically between Hosway and the Monarch Oliver English. If Hosway is able to achieve his goal, if he is able to defeat the Siberian Silver Bear in 10 minutes or less, he will replace Oliver English in the World Championship bout at Madhouse. a chance for Pando to finally even the score, to finally take on the Monarch in an even playing field. But first, he has to put away Hosway here tonight.
Looking great there, champ. Just hold that pose for a couple seconds.
Did I ruin your shoot? You don't like it when somebody shares your spotlight. You think you're hot shit because you got lucky at Euphoria?
Does the sauce think he's hot shit cause he's a two-time Twitch champion? I don't know. Tell me all about your championship glory.
That's a great one, smartass. The truth of the matter is quite simple. You knew Popcorn Papi's battle approach all too well. You never got over the fact that you could beat him routinely, and yet Papi beat you to the punch. And besides, we got some unfinished business sauce. 2 weeks ago, you eliminated me in 4 corners. I've come for you, and I'm coming to take that KPW Twitch Championship.
Listen to the sauce, 'cause I'm kind of a big shot down here in the South. You want a piece of the sauce? You want to have a go at me for the Twitch Championship so bad. You gotta earn it like everybody else here, Tape. You can't lean on Bawb to do all the heavy lifting for you, like you did when you were tag champions. You want to be a real champion? Earn that shot next week against War Zone, and we'll see if you're worth the sauce's time at Madhouse. Prove yourself, and the sauce will personally vet you for the 25th for this KPW Twitch Championship.
I'll prove myself to you, all right? I'll show the whole damn world what the role model is made of.
Apparently we had a bit of an altercation earlier this evening between Tape, the role model of course, and our KPW Twitch champion, the Sauce. Sauce clearly enjoying the fruits of his labor. Riding quite the high. Coming back with quite the vengeance, and vengeance is on the mind of the secret weapon, Hosway, as he has 10 minutes to put away the Siberian Silver Bear, Pando. Pando making himself public enemy #1 of Parliament in a record amount, in a record short time. Humiliating the Monarch, playing him as a fool, taking the gear, taking the car, and then kicking the Monarch's ass. Parliament would retaliate by hitting up the car of Pando before Euphoria. And Pando with one hell of a start to this, splitting Hosway in half with that spear. And you know, we don't even know if Hosway is at 100% here tonight. We saw him last week sporting that neck brace. One has to wonder just with how nefarious Parliament has proven to be over the past several months. Who knows if he was actually hurt to begin with? And who knows if Parliament even paid for the car that they blew up, that they gifted to Pando. Hook kick ducked by Pando. Pando going for a gut wrench power bomb. And this is not the way that Hosway would want things to go here tonight. Drop kick in the corner, cross faces in the corner. Lead official slap by Jones, covering the main event of the evening here tonight. having to separate these two on account of the rope break. And Pando is just letting those haymakers fly here. Hosway with nowhere to go as he's just mounted by the world champion. Spinning back heel kick takes down Pando. Hosway going right to the legs of Pando. Specifically that right leg of Pando that's been braced up ever since he did that death-defying moonsault all those months ago back at Mayhem. Hurricane Runner from Hosway. And as I'm receiving word from the board of directors here tonight, next week, we got quite the card to deliver to you here, folks, for Warzone. As the Bam Bus, Ricky Rambus, Bam Dardino, they return to action ever since their crushing defeat at Euphoria as they take on the Murder Hornets in tag team action. The Void has been left after the Raging Bulls suffered a crushing countout victory just minutes ago at the hands of the First Nation. If the Bam Bus are able to defeat the Murder Hornets, they'll be able to claim a tag team championship opportunity at Madhouse. Moonsault for Pando. That's how he won the world title. And Hosway's up at 2. And speaking of the First Nation, and speaking of tag team champions, we'll be seeing Slarty go one-on-one against Solo. It's the War Machine versus the Scrapyard Saint in 1 week's time here on Warzone. A hard resolution being provided by the board directors as we saw it from that scuffle earlier tonight. Sent onto the floor, catching Hosway bullseye.
6, 7,
Irish whip right into the ring post.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
A resolution being provided by the board directors. We saw that scuffle earlier this morning between the Sauce and Tape. Tape, of course, getting an opportunity to challenge for the Sauce's Twitch Championship, put his money where his mouth is, and all he has to do is go one-on-one against Pierre Cinema next week on Warzone. If he can defeat the Star Attraction, the Sauce will vet him in for a Twitch Championship match on the 25th.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Also, still to come, we understand that Pando will be continuing
17.
his retribution, continuing his warpath against Parliament, as we see Hosway just getting the absolute snot kicked out of him here tonight. Pando looking to systematically take down each and every member of Parliament. Another spear splitting Hosway right down the middle. Good cut against the grain. Drop kick from Pando. And this beat the clock challenge has been completely in the favor of the world champion. And we're going to be seeing him in action against more Parliament members as he takes on the 400-pound Papyrus in singles action in just 7 nights. Hosway is getting absolutely brutalized here in the main event. He has 10 minutes to make his statement, and I think Pando just knocked him silly, just cleaned his clock. And now it's Hosway struggling to get to his feet. And Hosway, he had plenty of time to prepare for a bout like this. He had a week in spare change to think about what he would do if he got his hands on Pando when the bell rang. Spinning back heel kick caught by Pando as he slams Hosway down into the mat. And one has to wonder where Oliver English and his thoughts lie on this situation. He understands that Hosway could very well replace him in that Madhouse match. But more importantly, if Hosway doesn't break the 10 minutes, if he loses to Pando here tonight, he's not getting a ticket to Madhouse. And that could both be a blessing and a curse for the Monarch, because Pando is going to have no restrictions against him this time around. No Buckingham Palace rules. He gets to lay in the beatdown on Oliver English as he normally would. Belly to belly suplex, sending Hosway all the way across the ring. 2 minutes left on the clock here. And one has to wonder if Pando could have just put Hosway away at this point. I think he's starting to enjoy this. Pando just venting out his frustrations against Parliament here, feeling Hosway all the way across the ring. And this is just absolutely maddening here tonight. Belly to back suplex towards the corner of the ring, right into those buckles. Pando sizing up Hosway. Hosway getting a moment of reprieve there, getting quite the opening, but he has 60 seconds to make the most out of it. Pando is just as fresh as he was when the bell rang 9 minutes ago. Monkey flip by Hosway. Hosway going for a hurricanrana, but Pando stops him dead in his tracks. Hosway with an excellent counter to that spear from Pando. Hosway's ramping up the intensity. He's on the clock here. He's got to try and find a way to steal one here tonight. He's got 20 seconds and counting. Pando is not going to make this easy at all here. Hosway's going to need a damn miracle as he gets clubbed in the back of the head here. And I think Pando is going to need another 10 minutes to beat the hell out of Hosway, because Hosway's time has ran out. That's not the music of our World Heavyweight Champion. It's not even Hosway's music. It's the music of Parliament. And speaking of the devil, Papyrus, flanked by Kruger, Chaos Control, they're marching down to the ring, the personal enforcers of the Monarch. As they look to zero in on the World Heavyweight Champion, Pando. 2v1 here. Having to deal with both members of Chaos Control. Parliament looking to soften the Siberian Silver Bear as Papyrus looks to gouge out the eyes. of the World Heavyweight Champion. Pando slamming the big man. All 400 pounds worth of him. Overclutch suplex from Kruger. Tandem offense onto Pando. Pando is completely singled out here. And Papyrus is going to have a huge advantage heading into Warzone in just 1 week's time here. Tower of London onto the world champion, and they're still laying in the cut on Pando. They're not finished. There's got to be somebody in the back that's willing to stick their neck out for the world champion here. Parliament, they certainly have made a wide assortment, a wide range of enemies here. Who's gonna step in and stop these guys? Pyrus trying to position Pando right in front of our announce desk here. Kruger pulling Pando away from the Kumite faithful as they try to intervene and try and get our world champ out of dodge here. Parliament is just absolutely relentless here tonight. Shades of Euphoria. Papyrus, pardon me, with the stop sign in hand. Pando, damn near broke Hosway's neck by dropping him on that stop sign. And Papyrus is adding a little more color to that stop sign. He has split the world champion wide open with it. And he's left him a bloody mess in the center of the ring. It has not been an easy ride ever since Pando won the World Heavyweight Championship. He has been marked as public enemy #1. Parliament jumping him week in and week out, trying to get whatever sort of advantage. As underhanded as it's been over the course of the past month. And now Pando has to deal with the 400-pound Papyrus heading into Warzone next week. And that is all the time we have here, folks. I've been Tate Styles, the only man that can call the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. Wishing you all a good night, everybody.